Come, man. You need to.
You're gonna need to take it out.
And then?
It's dead.
32. All day.
Don't turn it like that, Niso.
It's not charging. Oh, no. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Hello, everybody. We will start in the next, just a few minutes or so. 1 or 2. And then we will start. It's not 7 o'clock on the dot. So let's wait for 7 o'clock on the dot and then we start. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's another Monday evening and we get to talk. That's what we do. We get to just chat. Okay, guys, so, we thought about what we're going to talk about today and how we plan to do this. And here's the thing. Looking at what's been happening the past few days, and I'm talking maybe 2-3 days that have just passed, we've literally been seeing a cleanup. So South Africa has gone through a huge crisis. I'm wearing a hat, guys, because my head is cold. Okay, no judgment here. So South Africa has been going through a huge crisis, and I'm talking about, besides COVID itself, we're also talking the looting and everything that's gone on, that's really messed us up, but taking that into the relationship space and also taking that into your personal space, we go through situations where you literally go through a crisis in your life, or you go through trauma in your life. And what we've seen in the past day or two is a lot of cleanup operations that have been happening. So the cleanup operations that we've been seeing is people going to the malls, making sure that they're protecting the malls, making sure that they're cleaning up, they're picking up. And, some people did it for Mandela Day. Some people were just doing it out of the goodness of their hearts, and, bless them all. And you pick up and you move with the hope of being able to move on from the crisis, with the hope of things getting better with the crisis, or at least after the crisis. But we also remember that with every crisis that we face, any crisis that we face, at some point you need to stand up, you need to get up and stand up and actually say, okay, all right, so this is what I've been through, yes, but now how do I stand up and walk on? And sometimes with the crises that we go through, we are knocked out. I mean, it knocks the wind out of you, and you don't even know where to start. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how to move. And sometimes you think just staying in that position where you are hurt, you are vulnerable, you are angry, you are just lying there, you just are miserable and you are crying. And sometimes the tears are comforting. Ne? Yeah. So we want to stay in that position where we're crying and miserable. But is that what we should do? And I say that cautiously because I also know and understand that, what we're feeling in here tends to override everything else that we do. So if you're feeling down and you're feeling angry, it's so difficult to get up and try and get yourself up and find and find love. And when I talk about love, here's the thing. I'm not talking about finding love as in replacing what you've just lost. So if you've just gone through a breakup, I'm not talking about replacing your person or the person that used to be your person, your ex. No, I'm not talking about that type of love. I'm talking about finding love in life, finding love within yourself, finding love for yourself, finding love for the things around you that you had forgotten about. Relationships are very interesting. You know, when we get into relationships, we tend to forget who we are. So not only do we forget who we forget who we are and what we like. Okay? So the things that were exciting for you and all of that, we tend to just put them out there. We want to do what works for both of us. He doesn't like going out, so he doesn't like the outdoors much. You know what? It's fine. I don't have to go hiking as much. It's okay, because you're supporting his dream. Or he or she doesn't like doing a certain thing, and he's like, okay, well, in that case, you know, I won't do it as much. These things happen, right? How do you get back to normal? How do you pick up the pieces after trauma or crises? That's what we're talking about today. Remember that, you know, you're welcome to share your experiences at any point. You can have a chat with us. You can join us. You can join the conversation. You can send your messages, and I'll read them all. If you want to have a chat, we can also do that. Just remember to just send your request online, and we will then pick it up there and be able to then take the conversation further. Okay, so that's what we are talking about today. I've got a few steps that I, you know, sitting down, going through, doing a bit of research on this and thinking, what actually works best? Or how do you do this? And guys, I've got to just put it out there. It's not a easy fix. Hey, it's not a cut and dry. This is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it. And then we move from there. Relationships are hard. But losing a relationship is even harder. Walking out of a relationship, whether the relationship was good or bad, but walking out of a relationship is always drama, trauma, stress, crisis, and so many other things that you can think of. It's really, it's not a nice thing to do. Yeah? And my thinking is, if we can try and get you out of that with the least pain, because we know that you are going to have pain, but with the least pain, maybe it would have helped. Yeah? So tell me about the crisis that you're going through, and let's see how to help you get through that crisis, or how to get past whatever it is that you could have gone through or that you are going through right now. Guys, it's really tough. Dela are kiabanda egoli evetale kiabanda egoli ngibona nifake noise afiwa up. It's very cold. Okay, so here's the first thing that I think we need to do when we find out, when you actually are going through. Oh, Tumile Khodi says, trigger. Tell me more about it. Let's talk. How do you pick up the pieces after trauma or crisis? Point number one. You know, this is the first thing that we need to allow ourselves to do all the time, because we are always so scared to do it, but it's probably the best thing you could do for yourself. Allow yourself to feel. Yeah? What do I mean by allowing yourself to feel? Guys are also very guilty of this, just by the way. When you go through a breakup, people are like, get over here, man, it's again, not worth your time. Even good riddance to bad rubbish. Yeah. Good riddance to bad rubbish. It's all good and you say it. But we're talking about what's in here, and we're talking about being honest with self. Okay? So what you do and the lack of honesty with other people, your baby. But I'm talking about being honest with yourself. Allow yourself to feel. Because holding on to those feelings of trauma, holding on to the feelings of stress, drinking yourself to a stupor because you are hoping to forget about your problems, just all of that, okay, is not going to help you. See, here's the thing. Blocking it just prolongs it. At some point, you do have to feel. So if you actually started from the get-go, allow yourself to feel. Be gentle with yourself. Be aware that this is a lot. This is a lot that I'm going through. Cry, sit and just wail yourself silly, but just be gentle with yourself. Those feelings that I want you to allow yourself to feel need to be felt. They need to be experienced so that you can actually release them. The more you hold on to them, the more they stay with you. Yeah? So I'm saying to you, you see it, you feel it, but you want to allow yourself to feel, because you don't want to be in a position where all you are doing is running away from it, hiding away from it, pushing away from it, because that always leads you back to disaster. Okay? Allow yourself to feel. Remember, you need to cry. You need to, and it's okay. Some people cry, some don't, some sit and eat it. You know how the movies tell us these lies. The movies always say, you sit with your girlfriends and you watch TV and you eat ice cream and oh my gosh, and you cry for a day and you wake up tomorrow and you're all good and well. That would be beautiful. That would be ideal. That's not necessarily real life. That's not what happens in real life. But what we can take from there is the support structure, which you definitely need. And what the other thing that we can take from there is just allow yourself to just go through it. Just like you would any other grief. That's grieving. Guys, please be aware that when you go through something like that, when you go through a breakup, when you go through, a divorce, when you go through such, that you literally go through grief. You are grieving a dead relationship. As much as you would grieve a dead person, like a person who has passed on, in this case, your relationship has passed on. Your relationship has died. And you need to grieve for that relationship. You will go through the 5 stages of grief. I mean, it's your denial, where you start thinking, no, never. Is it? Whatever. You go through anger. You go through, I think the third one is bargaining that you go through. Then you go through the depression. But you will get to a point where you actually accept, or at least you should get to a point where you accept. Okay? I'm going to read your messages just now, and I'm seeing, just hold on, I'm going to, okay. I am Rifi Are, trigger, just came from my doctor to get my antidepressants. I'm not surviving after my marriage of 10 years ended last year. Okay. Askies, yeah, it's tough, I know. But let's go through the show, and let's try and get you, give you at least little nuggets on how to allow yourself to walk through it. It is tough. The one thing that you're doing right, you are going out to get help. Don't only go out and get antidepressants, go out and talk to somebody. Go for therapy, see a coach, talk about it, take it out of there. That again allows you to feel. You need to feel. You need to go through it. And I know, trust me, I know it's the hardest thing to do, those feelings, but it needs to be done. Jennifer Morake says, a year later, I still get those moments of anger after things ended between us. Of course you will get those. Ask easy, but those are things that you will get through. You will be okay. You will be. That much I can tell you. Muipone Maume says, depression, my sister, it's tough. It is tough. It is tough. I'm really saying good riddance to bad rubbish. We say that to make ourselves feel better. Of course. That's what we do. Mandela Kelena, 2 years later, it's hell. I want out. Feels like it's for the best, but I have no strength. Tlaki Ram says, I cried all out till I get better. Yep, cry baby. Do it. Ba Dombolo. Okay, I just got ghosted for 2 months. A person just decided not to talk to me. After 2 months, a person calls and says, I'm returning your calls. Huh? I just told him I'm not okay, but one day get sharp. You're a nicer person than I am, I must be honest. But Dombolo, returning my calls after 2 months, sure. But yeah, take it easy. Oma Mhlambani says, Mhlabani, I want to get better and forget about him, but he keeps on checking up on me. Block him. block him. Remember, the access that you give to him, is all on you. You have the right to say no. You have the right to deny him access. Okay? And if it makes it easier for you to not have that access, deny him that access. Remember, this person now has no right to you. It's over. For whatever reason. Allow yourself to have the space and take yourself back. If you're not coping because every time he calls it takes you back, then it's not working for you. Move. That phone has a block button. Use it. A lot of men, I may be wrong. Look, I'm generalizing. Of course I am. But a lot of men like the revolving door. They want to get out of your life, but they want to have access to your life. So they want to have access to walk outside and do whatever and come back inside as they please. In and out. And that revolving door, it's up to you to close it. So the decision is yours. Okay, am I keeping the revolving door open? Am I going to play this game where he comes, when he's not here, when he's here? Is this the game I want to play? Or are you going to step back and say, no, I'm done? And you close that door and you lock it. So you need to make that decision. The movement 54, it's not easy. Nothing's ever easy, darling. Nothing's ever easy. But with everything that you do, you make an effort to do it, and then you push, and there will be challenges, and things will come up. You continue pushing, and you go, and you go, and you go. Okay? That was the first one that I was saying to you. Allow yourself to feel, okay? Allow yourself to go through it. Understand that you need to grieve the relationship. Understand that you need to grieve this thing. It's the same thing as losing part of yourself. Maybe I'm starting a different conversation here altogether, but somebody who has a chronic illness, for example, like I do. I have fibromyalgia, and somebody who has a chronic illness, there are people who have lupus and fibromyalgia and so many others, endo and all, but who struggle so much that you start grieving the person that you were. That's a necessary part of life. You grieve this that you know you have lost, so that you can stand up and you start moving again. Okay? He took our house. I had to start from scratch. How do you get through that? I am Rifi. He didn't take you, baby girl. He didn't take your life. He didn't take you. For as long as you have yourself and for as long as you are breathing, you can get up and walk again. I know it's not easy, but it can be done. It definitely can be done. Okay? The movement 54, when do you know that you have healed and ready for a new chapter? We'll get to that. And you will feel it. You'll start feeling it and understanding it as well, but I will get to that. Let me go through some of the steps that I put down. Feel. Remember I said allow yourself to feel. Now here's the thing. Feel, but don't become the feeling. Am I making sense? Okay. Feel. Go through it. Cry. Get miserable. I miss him. I love him. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Da, 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 da. Go through it. It's okay. But don't allow yourself to be misery. Feel miserable. Don't be misery. So get up and try to get yourself up. I think it's Beyonce who once said she also goes through moments where she's down or where something's happened and it gets her really down. And she says, I allow myself a day. She gives herself a day where she's really down, where she cries herself silly and she eats all the ice cream she wants and she's miserable and she's in tears. And the next day, she wakes up and she looks in that mirror and she's out. And she says, I have allowed myself to feel, but I'm not going to wallow in that feeling. I'm not going to be the feeling. It's not as easy for all of us, but the point is, don't be the feeling. Don't stay down there for too long. We fall. We all do. We fall. You don't stay down there for too long. You get up, you pumula, you tintit yourself, and as we pumula, trust me, some dust will come off, some won't, but as you move on and as you walk on, it gets better by the day. The third one, and sometimes a difficult one for a lot of people, Cut off and move. Cut off and move. Here's what I mean by that. Communication. I can't remember who I was saying to just now, but I was saying, if it's too much for you, block them. I have a child who I've learned a lot from, and I look at every day and I'm like, he cuts off, he deletes your number, and then he blocks you. So he blocks you first and then he deletes your number. Then he can never get back, and he's like, that's how I cope, and I get up and I walk. That is part of the reason why I wrote this cut off and move, because that's self-love. That's understanding, listen, this is not working for me, and this is not good for me. And for it to work for me, I need to get up and I need to walk. Yeah? Because you're not going to sit and say, I know this poison is terrible for me, but you're going to die. It's going to kill you. So we can't continue doing things that hurt us, but hoping for a different experience. Hoping for the things that hurt us to be different as we go on. It cannot happen that way. Social media. Whoa, it's okay. It's okay sometimes to check once in a while. Oh, okay, that's what that person's doing. Okay. But to sit and literally be that person that is like all the time going through everything that they are dealing with, that's a problem. Yeah? So allow yourself to grieve like that. But allow yourself to also cut and move on. Now, remember, these things that I'm saying now, these are crises that we're talking about and trauma that we're talking about. This you apply in your love relationships. This you apply in when you are grieving a parent, when you have lost a job, these are the same steps that you apply. I'll explain to you. For example, when you've lost a job, you will sit and you will cry and you'll be miserable. Okay? You will go through that, so you will allow yourself to feel. But again, you don't become the feeling, and then you start moving on. This holding on to, why did they do this? Who have they hired now? Have they replaced me? What have they done at my old job? What is happening? No, you move from there. That's one. If you've lost a parent, we have the tendency of holding, and I know, when I lost my dad, the hardest thing for me was getting up and realizing that he's not there for me. This is the person that I used to call every morning, and we would chat and laugh, and then I'd start my day, or during the day I call him and we chat, and you deal with all of that, and all of a sudden this person is not there. But I had to learn that with all the love that I have in my heart for him, he's never left me. His physical body may have left me, but I need to stand up and I need to move. I need to move forward. I need to continue going forward. And this is the one thing, if it's the last thing I say to my children, I would be so happy to have them know that when I die, that is not the end of them. That is the end of my life, physical being. That's all that has ended. But my love for them will never end. And what I have taught them and the love that we shared will never ever end. We move on. That's, for example, when you're dealing with grief. Step number 4, find a support system. Find a support system. Guys, whatever stress or crisis that you're going through, if you don't have to do it alone, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone if you don't have to do it alone. It's too much for a person, and if it's too much for you, please don't be shy to stand up and say, it's too much for me. I need to stand up. I need to move on. Talk to a friend. Go for therapy. If you don't have friends, and a lot of people don't have friends, and understandably so, go for therapy, go for coaching, get help, talk to somebody. But please, you don't have to walk through such hard things all by yourself, all in the name of being strong. This business of being strong is overrated, Kilishwezi. It's totally overrated. Nobody has to sit there proving their strength to anyone. Okay? The fact that you're alive every day tells me that you're strong. The fact that you wake up on a day, even when things are difficult, tells me that you're strong. You don't need to go through the worst only for you to prove to me that you're strong. Anybody who expects you to prove to them that you're strong in that manner does not have your best interest at heart. And that's the person that you need to also move away from. Okay? That's what we do. So find a support system, find somebody to talk to, deal with it. Whether it be going for grief therapy and you know those grief counseling sessions, and sometimes the support groups and that type of session, they also work. So find a way, find what works for you and deal with that. Number 5, and I know a lot of people are always like, oh, where do I even find the time? Exercise, guys, exercise. For the simple reason that it actually just takes out those endorphins that you need. You will feel better. It's always the most horrible thing starting an exercise. At the end, you always feel better. Weird, but it is what it is. But you do it so that you can actually start releasing and relieving yourself of the stress. So get yourself active. I'm not saying to you, wake up and go run the comrades tomorrow just because you're grieving or you're going through things. No, not necessarily. But what I am saying to you is wake up and go for a walk. Ride a bike. Go for a spinning class. Whatever it is. Gardening. That's also regarded as exercise. You know that. You can go do your gardening, go play golf. Whatever tickles your fancy. But get those endorphins coming out. You need them. Number 6. It wasn't always perfect. Remember what wasn't perfect. Okay? Let me tell you what I mean about that. Especially in relationships. This one talks to relationships a lot. When you break up with someone, we have the tendency of going through, oh, he was so amazing to me. Oh my gosh, he did this. Stop obsessing over all the good things. You know that you would not have broken up if it was all rosy like that. If it was all perfect and you broke up, then where was the problem? Why did you break up? Let's talk about that. So look at the things that you were actually not happy about. Look on the flip side. And you do that so that you actually start understanding, oh, hey, Amara, that was a bit much. No, that was a bit much for me. Yes, things were good, but 1, 2, and 3, those I wouldn't have handled. Be honest with yourself about how things were. Don't romanticize everything. We love romanticizing everything. We do that as well with grief, interestingly. I've seen people, you know, when somebody loses a partner, so a partner passes away or something like that. Have you noticed how the partner now becomes an angel? How the partner has always done everything perfect. I'm not saying you put bad names or bad words to somebody who has passed on. But guys, let's be honest. We need to learn to be honest with ourselves. Because if you had this amazing, perfect partner who did absolutely nothing wrong and nothing ever went wrong and everything was perfect, moving on is going to be the hardest thing for you. But in also being honest is also understanding, you know what, in everything that we went through, there's a time for everything in life. There's a time for this person to be born, and there was a time for them to pass on. And there's a time for us to have a good time and be good and be there and enjoy it, and then there's a time for us. And sometimes, more often than not, death happens, you know, at the worst of times, when you're not looking at it, when, you know, all of those things. But you get up and you don't romanticize the issue. Be honest with it. Also, please, can we not romanticize our grief or romanticize our stress? Sometimes we go through so much stress and we romanticize so much of the stress that we forget that it's actually stress. Sometimes it feels as if it's nice to be in that stress. And that's what we need to walk away from. That's what we need to stop. Okay, so always remember that when you lose something, it's a loss on one side, but it's an opportunity to pick up something else. It's an opportunity to experience new things, to gain, to do things instead of just sitting. Because sitting and romanticizing this that you've lost will never open you up to everything else that you can have. I hope I'm making sense. Number 7, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I cannot say that enough. Self-care is key, guys. And self-care can be anything from a massage to just a hot bath, just sitting by yourself, just relaxing, just eating well, making sure that you know what you want and what you need, going for that walk, clearing your mind, doing your art, whatever it is that nourishes you and nourishes your soul. That's what we do. That's what we need to do. So take care of yourself and be conscious about what you're doing to take care of yourself. Am I making sense? Okay, let me go through some of the messages before I go on. Let me see. I stopped at number 7. I'll come back. Let me go through some of the messages. Lindy 13 says, "Wow, I actually went through all those stages, and now I'm happy to say I've accepted, and now I'm at peace, and now he wants to come back." They do that. Let me tell you why they do that. Interestingly, why they want to come back? Because you look too happy. Because a lot of people, I almost call them something, but a lot of people tend to like the fact that you're grieving them. They like the fact that you're going through a lot. And when they see that you're okay, why? Then he wants to come back. No, I think, you and I can solve things. Only because now you have a boyfriend, or now he sees that you've moved on. Only then he starts seeing what he has lost. If you want them back, this is where you sit them down and you have a clear chat about what you will and will not handle, what you want and do not want from your relationship, and you're clear. If you do not want them, you move. You move right along. But you need to be very clear about what you want even before that decision is made. Okay? That discussion that you've had. Okay. Tebogo Masilela says, "My favorite button is a block button. My peace is important for me." True. Yeah. Block button is the one. Sandy Kuzo says, "I'm a man and I agree with the revolving door analogy." Oh, I'm so glad you agree with it, Sandy. Thank you. I am Baby Doll, aka Reggie. I deal with the issue at hand. I cry when the need arises and I talk about it and let go. Well done to you. The movement says, "Remove the revolving door. Kenya stop nonsense. Bona. Kenya lebota lele ko dimu. Kana le ba lebitsang ko location lebota la dipidisi, something like that. Bona lebota lele kwa ko dimu." That's what you need to do, because people have the tendency of wanting to come back. Be very careful. And Klomo says, "The process to heal and move on, it is tebaki that revolving door." Yep. Dumile Khori says, "I've cried. I've allowed myself to be there. I've made peace with him, ghosting me, blocked him. I'm loving myself." Well done to you. Girl from Soweto, "Truth is, we women volunteer ourselves." Oh, yes, we do. Women are the biggest nurses in town. We want to nurse every hurt soul and want to make them better. But do we even bother to look in the mirror and nurse ourselves? No, we need to take ourselves back. We need to do that. Mama the monks are and I thought I dealt with things 3 years ago, and 2 weeks ago something erupted like it's our economy. What happened? I felt like I was hit by a truck and the trauma peaked. Sure, I cried last week. But good for you. I'm glad that you cried. Guys, if you don't deal with things, they do not go away. If I take this pencil and I put it under a carpet, we may not see it, but the minute you step over it, you will feel it. This is why there's so many mind blasts. There's so many things that happen when you actually don't do the work. You need to do the work and then move on. It has a way of coming back if you haven't done the work. Trust me, it does. Motsuke says, "Often people say we should deal. How do we deal?" This is what we're talking about. This is the dealing that we're talking about. Tebogo says, "You know you have healed when the thought of the perpetrator, not penetrator, perpetrator, penetrate, no longer upsets you." Yep, I hear you. And Ganya 6 says, "How I wish I can heal, but I'm struggling. So many things happened. I'm so stressed. I even wish to end my life. No. My life is miserable. I don't know where to start. My kids are suffering." Nkanyi, you need to get help, my love. Please get help. Do me a favor. Please send me an inbox. Let's direct you to somebody for therapy. Let's make sure that you get help. That's important. It's very important that you get the help. Please make sure that you do. No need to end your life because you have walked out of a relationship. Please, let's work on turning on your life. Your life is very important, and your children need you. You also need to be here. Okay. Mama the monk said, "This week I started picking up the pieces and I'm seeing my therapist this week." Well done to you. Nombulelo, "I just lost my job today." Appropriate topic. Oh man, Askisi Nombulelo, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Yes, Tabo Mukwele, cut and move. That's what you do. That's Taboza, by the way. Debra Masilela says, Umphoxelang jwale ngwaneso, correct me. Oh, okay. No, Nabapala, I think. Okay, Trish Mash says, just tuned in. Thanks so much to you and Justin Cohen. Binge watch Single Wives. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying and you're using the tools there. Thank you. Macy Mamela says, be strong. All right, okay, thank you. Toga says, my boyfriend is so good at bottling things. I tried to talk to him a million times. Please advise. I can't advise you. You need to decide what you want to do. Is that the person that you want to be with? A person that can talk, a person that can communicate? You know, sometimes people say advice and then you want me to say, you know what you need. What do you want? Guys, please normalize writing down a love list, okay? And your love list should be clear. This is the type of person I'm looking for. I'm not talking about things like, hey, must have long hair or short hair, must have blonde hair. No, I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about a love list, talking about how a person treats you, how a person loves you, how, write those things down. I want to be treated with love. And this is what me being treated with love means. I want somebody who is respectful. This is what a respectful person looks like for me. I want a person who communicates their feelings. This is what I mean by communicating their feelings. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please normalize writing down that love list so that you are clear about the person that you want. Because sometimes we sit in relationships with the hope of the relationship that we want with the person that we don't want. Am I making sense? So you are hoping that this person who is not giving you what you want is going to turn and be the hope that you wanted in a relationship. It doesn't work like that. We cannot be in relationships with the hope of having a good relationship. You work on a relationship, but you can't do that alone. You can't be in a relationship alone. Together in a relationship, and you work on it together. Communication is key. If it's not important to you, then you're fine, then you can stay. But if it is important to you, then you've got to move. Manjake says, okay, no, let me move on. Matapelo Tawitsile. I always do that, looking about the things he has done, the good, but I always ask myself how we fight about the things he does. It's hard to move on, and I hate that I sometimes compare now. I'm so confused, I'm not sure what you said. Please try again. It went way over my head. 1958, 100 Nonosi says, how to stop comparing the old and the new partners. First of all, put yourself in their shoes. Imagine if they were comparing you to their old partners. So imagine you cook a meal. And as you serve him, imagine how you would feel. Guys, at times all it takes is for you to put yourself in that person's shoes and start imagining and understanding what you would be going through if that was done to you. Let's be fair. Okay? Okay, hold on. Women, PH_1. Women ghost us when we don't have money. Then are some Pretty Monster 24 says, I almost died when I lost everything, but I started to snap out of it through my family's love and support. Love and support is very important. Christina Walker says, so hard for me to forgive. I hold grudges there. How do I deal with things? The holding of grudges, unfortunately, it's you drinking poison hoping it kills the next person. That's what it does. So you need to actually let go and stop drinking this poison, because holding a grudge is literally you having to hold yourself like this. The whole time, every time you talk about them, you're like, guys, karma has your address. Whether you hold it against them or not, karma will have their address. Let go. Let go. Do not drink poison in the hope of killing the next person. You are the one that's going to die. Okay? Going through, hold on. Let me actually finish off my list. Let me finish off my list of the things to do when you're getting through trauma or crisis or breakup or something like that, so that I can also take your calls just quickly. Number 8, that's where I was. Don't stress yourself about the length of your healing process. Honor your feelings regardless, okay? Some people will take 2 days to heal. Some people, like Beyonce, will take 1 day to heal. The next person may take 6 months to heal. Allow yourself to heal. However long that healing process is, allow yourself to heal. The difference, though, is that when you are healing, you are not stressing or traumatizing yourself even further. So when I'm talking about healing, it's when you have removed yourself from the situation and you are now working on getting yourself up. But if you are crying through the process and you are miserable through the process, that's you healing. That's okay. Okay? So it's like, in fact, Mtena Homosos just sent a very important message here saying, anger is not a superpower. Yes, very true. Anger is not a superpower. So you being angry and holding grudges doesn't mean it will change anything. Let it go and let that person, because the things that you do is what you pay for. That's what karma is. If you do good, you will get good in return. You do bad, you get. That's what karma is. So you holding on to it and hoping that it happens as if it's a superpower, it doesn't help you. Okay? So yeah. But as I was saying to you, don't stress about the length of your healing process. Just honor your feelings. Honor and understand and accept your feelings and move on. Right? Number 9, something so important. Remember, it's just a list of things that I think should be done. But so important. And this you'll also find in that beautiful book that I always tell you about, that I always tell you that you must get, the 4 agreements. Do not personalize things. Guys, how we personalize everything. Ojoti, it's because Nakimumbi. How do those two come together? No. Your looks didn't change. She or he decided to go and cheat. It's got nothing to do with your looks. Okay? They died because I wasn't good enough. Guys, it's not always personal. Everybody goes through their own things. Okay? Sometimes you lose somebody close to you and you start personalizing it. Maybe I wasn't there for them. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Why didn't I deserve that? It's not about you. It's their journey. It's their journey, and it's their walking through the journey that needs to happen. They have come to the end of their road. It does not necessarily mean it's the end of your road. It's the end of their road. Don't personalize things. Number 10, identify and eliminate unhealthy behavior. I say this a lot. If you've had coaching sessions with me, you'll know that I say this a lot as well. That start looking at yourself. Be intentional with how you do things and the things that you do. So little things like how you find yourself always wanting to check somebody's Instagram posts, or their social media. Going through some of those things. When you check those things, be very careful. Start noting them down. I checked it at 11:45 on Monday, and again at 11:50 on Monday, and 11:59 on Monday, and 12:06 on Monday, and 13:01 on Monday. Guys, there's now a problem. You cannot be overdoing it. You cannot be checking. But start noting those little things, because once you're not noting them, you're not aware of what you're doing. Okay? You're not aware, and when you look back, you might not even realize that you've overdone it. But once you make a conscious effort to sit down and start checking those things, you will see the unhealthy behavior. All right? If you are struggling with the unhealthy behavior in any way, whether it be replaying the beautiful moments and you find yourself wailing yourself silly 2 years later because you're still replaying those moments, get help. Get help. Normalize getting help. Let's not think that I can do it by myself. I did say earlier, get a support system. This is part of the support system that you need. So go for coaching, go for therapy. Make sure that you get help. Talk to somebody who can walk you through that journey. Number 11, create new routines. You're free now. You now have free time. Imagine you broke up with somebody who used to hate hiking and you love hiking. Now you have free time. Go hiking. Do different things. Explore the things that you love, because we tend to lose ourselves in relationships. We tend to forget who we are in relationships. And because we have forgotten who we are, we do what the next person wants. And then how do I put it? And then not only do you forget what the other person wants, but not only do you do only what the other person wants, but you also forget to do what you want. So you end up being them. When two of you are the same, one is unnecessary. Please be yourself. We need that. Are we struggling with the line? Please let me know if we are struggling, if we've been cut off. I don't know if we're still here. Please do let me know. Something tells me, okay, are we okay? Are we okay? I hope we're fine. All right. I'm going through, I think I've done number 11. Number 12, explore old and new interests, be intentional. Okay, so we just spoke about that. Right. Number 13, accept that you may need to find closure by yourself. I've said this to you before in another session where I said, sometimes we expect to sit with somebody and go through, but why did you dump me? Why did this happen? Closure does not mean the next person has to be there for you to help. It's not a door that they need to close. Closure is you accepting, standing up, and walking. When you go for therapy, the closure that you want is to understand who you are and the role that you may have played in all of that. And also just closing it off and wrapping it up and literally just moving it over to say, it's okay. I am fine. This expecting that closure will happen for you or when the next person is there is opening yourself up to even more trauma. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let's meet. I think I need closure. Why are we meeting for closure? We don't need to meet for closure. If you are not able to give me closure, if you do not have if you did not feel the need to let me know why and how things went wrong and you just decided to ghost me, how am I going to force you to give me closure? No, let's not do that. Okay. Number 14, date cautiously. Take your time. So moving on, take your time, be cautious, just be ready. Take your time. Don't be forced into things just because everybody's doing it, just because everybody says it's about time. Take your time. Somebody else, 2 weeks is enough. For the next person, a month is enough. The next person needs a year. Do you, boo. Do what works for you. Okay? Number 15, trust and believe that the pain won't last forever. It won't last forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. So know that. Trust and believe that you will wake up and you will get better. And you will one day look at them and think, oh my gosh, but you've moved on. And that's the most beautiful thing ever, where you can actually choose yourself and you can stand up and you can walk on. And the last one for me is when the pain gets better, then you can start reflecting on the positives. Okay? When you are better, then you can start looking at, what did I do what did I gain out of that one? I learned 1, 2, and 3. That was amazing. Beautiful lessons I learned from that person. You learn the lessons, but you move on. Just like in any class, you learn the lesson in grade 5. You don't go back to grade 5 next year. You pass grade 5 and you go to grade 6. You remember the lessons that you learned in grade 5, but you go to the next grade. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So those are my steps on how you try and get over crises or how you move on. I think I can now go and take whatever calls or discussions that you'd like to have. Maite Mangwedi says, women go through a lot, Batung, and we love ourselves hard before looking for that love. Yeah, women go through a lot, but people go through a lot, guys. Let's be fair. The sad thing about men is that they don't talk. So when they hurt, they don't tell anyone. And they die kamohara all by themselves, which is also so wrong, which is also just so wrong. We need to normalize men talking, crying, just getting it out. Boto Jafta says, Lynn and I suffer from holding grudges. I even retaliate. Ish, yeah, no. Pretty Monster says, we'll definitely do that. We are confused because today I'm looking for this and tomorrow you change. Okay. Macy says, love list, we learned a lot about single wives. Yes. Oh, I'm definitely an advocate for love list. So important. Okay, what must I list here? Mamanki Mink says I must list something here. I'm not sure what you're saying. I must list here, my dear. Let me know. Or are you talking about the steps? I guess sure. Is it okay for a person in a relationship to talk to their exes while being with someone new and they get defensive when you raise it? No, it's not. If your partner is uncomfortable about you talking to certain people and there's no need for you to talk to those people, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? If you are telling me, Hore, no, I need to talk to my ex because that's the mother of my child, then, okay, the discussion is about 1, 2, and 3, and you are transparent about that. That's one thing. But no, no. Which book is it, Eliza? I think you're talking about the Four Agreements. It's the Four Agreements. I did mention it the last time. It's a beautiful book that I absolutely love. I for sure, I don't know for how many years. I first read that book in 2006. I remember it was given to me by a very good friend, Tabiso Kotan. And I read it then, and ever since then, I have never, ever, I'll be honest with you, I have never stopped reading that book. I go back to it, I refer to it, I talk about it, I go through it so much because it taught me so much. In fact, I think I stood up and learned to be me from that book. The book is called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Don Miguel Ruiz, that's the author. Okay. How do I definitely for sure that I have healed? I'm in the session, but I'm not breaking down or feeling all of these traumas, and that is from a person who went through so much betrayal, and it was well done to you. But it took me time for me to get here, and it's a beautiful place where I am. Yep, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of self-work, but it can be done. Okay, the author of the Four Agreements, Mutapo Tsepo, is Don Miguel Ruiz. Okay, how do you rebuild trust after infidelity? Now that's a discussion on its own. Chiara Worldwide, that's another discussion on its own. Number one, though, that I can tell you, because we won't have the time to go through all the things that you need to do, but number one, I can tell you, consistency. That's what needs to happen. After honesty, that's also important. Okay. Tresor 225, I don't know what's going on, Guyana, but we move right along. Maite Mangwedi says we need to stop comparing ourselves with each other. That's also very true. Palisa M09, the greatest gift I gave myself after divorce was to find me. Yep, that's what we need to do. Benny Rapakadi Are was traumatized after my ex-wife left me with 3 small kids. First time experience, divorced her after giving her a chance to redeem herself. But the devil was too strong. Divorced her now. Happily married. Well, I'm glad you're happily married. Well done to you. Okay. Oh, there's Malebza wanting to talk to us. Malebza into a request. Let's see. Let's see if you come and join us. And then Amrifi says, thank you. I feel better from the session. I would cry, and I'm glad you feel better. Okay. Angel K. Hello, Kumo. This is beautiful. Thank you. The steps. Oh, the steps. Is that what you want? The 16 steps. I just wrote them down on a piece of paper. I literally was just going through what are we going to talk about today, and I just decided to just put down the steps. So it's literally just written down like that. I don't know. Are you going to write them out? Okay. Tabosa's going to write them out and try and put them out for you. Maybe you can just shorten, just write the one-liners, just 1 to 16. He's going to try and do that. Okay. Kibabi, it's 12, and I got the book from Take It Out, haven't started reading it, but we'll do it. So please do. Lerato KG, how do we express ourselves in new relationships without offending our partners? Talk with love. Do what you would like the next person to do. So how do you want to be addressed? Do you want your partner to be saying, Kana basadi le so kaofela, leje? If not, then don't do it. That's where you start. You talk with love. You talking with the current partner that you have. Guys, if you do everything with the aim, and to make a person happy, because that's how you want to be treated as well. Remember, in doing that, you're also teaching them how to treat you. You're teaching them how to love you. Yeah? That's important. So delicious. The pain we would save ourselves as women when we pause between relationships and hold on, I don't know. And date properly. Dating doesn't have to mean sexually involved. Yep. Listen, the other thing here, Sukulishas, that you need to understand is I don't even want women to be policed as much. It's not only women, even men need to stop policing women's bodies and how women like to grieve with their bodies. Or if for you what works better is to cuddle with someone else other than your partner, as long as you're honest, because that honesty for me is very, very important. You need to be very clear about what you want and where you are and where you're going. That's so important. I think it's Davancha who sent me I've just pressed somebody else who sent me. I don't know, guys, why I'm not connecting, but yeah. Ninki says, I've learned to
Hello.
connect. Oh, hello. How are you?
Hello, Auntie. Good evening.
Good, thank you. I can't see you clearly, but go on. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, go on. Yes.
Hello, Auntie. Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. Go on.
Huh?
Hello. You need to talk now.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm great. Let's talk. We don't have much time. Let's go. How can I help?
Hmm?
How can I help?
Just I want to ask you something about the issue of my life.
Okay. You need to talk. We
Oh.
don't have much time. You need to talk.
But I need the time to talk with between.
Okay, I need you to send me an inbox on the side because I'm not sure what you want to talk about, but it sounds like you're saying it's personal. So let's move on. Let's try and get more messages. Suela 1034 Are, what's the name of the book again? The book is called The Four Agreements. Hey,
Hello.
hello.
Hello. I said that I have
Please
a.
inbox me.
Okay. So I want private.
I can't help. Please, yeah, inbox me. Let's see if we can help you with
Okay.
you. Okay.
Okay.
Please drop and then we can talk on the side. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Onesimo says, is it okay for your partner to visit their baby daddy for their birthday and not tell you, and you find out on social media, seeing the pictures? No, no. My question would be, why is it done in secret? Why are they, if they have broken up? Guys, look, I'm a huge advocate for having normalizing relationships, where, for example, my husband has a child and that child's mother is not my enemy. We can still help each other. We can still help co-parent these children. Beautiful. That's amazing. That's lovely. But once he goes to her for her birthday without telling me, why is there a secret? What are we doing? What are we hiding? And the birthday messages and all of that without me knowing, careful. Be very careful. Please check and find out what is actually going on there. Trishmash, somebody responded to you. It's called The Four Agreements. I've also just responded there. Piwa Nosi says, the sessions are really helpful and empowering. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Piwa. Guys, we need to figure out a way of switching someone off, actually, yes? Yeah, I don't know. Angela, I don't know how you do it. But yeah. Moving on. Lebohang Mulela says, Cima, but he just checked his profile. Whoa, Nkosiyam, I didn't even see the profile. Okay, let's move on. I can't take any more calls, guys. We've got about 3 minutes left. And I'm trying to go through some of the messages. Did you manage, Tabitha, to... Okay, the keyboard here, Instagram is not working, so he's struggling to put it on Naskising, but we'll try and find a way of putting it on there, okay? But we'll post it later. Okay, he says he'll try and type it out and then post it later. That's fine. We'll do that. Moving on. I'm trying to see. Benny, this is my second marriage, gave me a chance to fix myself. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's beautiful, Benny. That's lovely. Angel K says, you suggested that book to me years ago. It's an amazing one, and I've bought it for my sisters. It's an amazing read. I'm so happy. That's beautiful. Minky says, I've definitely learned to love myself, and I'm selfish with myself. When I see red flags, I believe they're red flags and not orange. Oh, the power of healing. Beautiful. I love that. Guys, time for us to say goodbye. I almost said hello, but we can't say hello now. It's time for us to say goodbye. We have come to the end, and I don't know why we couldn't get through. The only person that could get through that amazing. Well, yeah, that guy. Let's leave it. I'm going to give you the number for my coaching sessions. Taboza, please just put it up quickly. The number is 060 962 6191. So I'll say it again. It's 060 962 6191. Please note that this is not my personal number, guys. These messages don't come directly to me. It goes to somebody who does my admin, who then does the bookings and everything else. So please don't write your life story there and all the gory details and all of that. Please, I know that you want to heal and all of that, but that's not the number to do that. So please refrain from doing that. Okay? But I'm putting the number up to say for coaching sessions, this is the number that you can WhatsApp. Okay, and please just use WhatsApp. Don't call the line either, because she's not going to take calls, because otherwise the line gets too busy. All right, I hope that helps. I'm actually trying to type in the meantime. I've just posted something here. I've posted the number. Thank you so much, guys. Have yourselves a beautiful evening. I hope this session was helpful for you, and I hope to see you next week. Do let me know what you think, guys. YouTube channel is up and running. We are starting to post on it today. Yes. Okay, so apparently we'll start posting today or tomorrow. We'll see how many of them we can post. I want to see if we can post even the ones that we've done before. But thank you, guys. Have yourselves a beautiful sessions. Mwah. Thank you so much. Thank you to Taboza, and thank you to Homoto for the help. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely evening. Bye.